Namaste, pranams to all friends and devotees of the Ramakrishna mission in Thanjavur. I'm very glad and honored for the kind invitation by Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj to speak a few words for the auspicious celebrations of the 125th anniversary of Swami Vivekananda's triumphal return to Bharata Motherland. Namaha Shniyati Rajaya Vivekananda Suraye Sachit Sukasvarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Salutations to that Swami Vivekananda, the king of the sannyasis. Salutations to that embodiment of infinite existence, consciousness, and bliss, who is the remover of our sorrows. This is Gilberto Serodio, and I've been associated with the Ramakrishna mission in Brazil and also Argentina for almost 30 years. I'm joining you today speaking from the marvelous city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, in South America, and I'd like to tell you beforehand that we are very glad for the arrival of Swami Atmagyananda Ji Maharaj, who was posted to work in Rio. Perhaps some of you already know him, as he worked before in the southern parts of India. He's such a wonderful person, and we feel very much blessed by Sri Ramakrishna for his coming to Brazil. So I'm going to talk a little bit on how I've been inspired by Swami Vivekananda's teachings. Well, Sri Ramakrishna came into my life much earlier than Swami Vivekananda. When I came across the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, translated into Spanish and published by Swami Paratparananda in Argentina, who succeeded Swami Vijayananda, the first monk to arrive in South America, when he passed away in 1973. When I started reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I was so amazed that I remember driving the car back home in a traffic jam and placing the book over the steering wheel as I could not stop reading it. All of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings in the book looked so much logical and perfect to me and explained in such a simple way that it was like falling in love for the first time. And as I was always fascinated by music from my very childhood, there was also the amazing fact that Sri Ramakrishna was also so much attracted to devotional music. Today, it's my firm conviction that Sri Ramakrishna has been taking personal care of me since my very birth in 1964. So we can only imagine the great importance of Master Mahashay's Sri Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. How many people is being attracted today and will be attracted in the future to Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sharada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda's teachings by this wonderful scripture alone. Now, going back to the main theme, I also remember that I was much more inspired by reading Swami Vivekananda's courageous and heroic life in the 19th century, traveling all over India, most of the time on foot and facing death at every corner, than by his talks and lectures. To me, it's the pure, immaculate, and heroic character of Swami Vivekananda that we must develop and emulate. No wonder Swamiji used to carry all throughout his life only two books with him, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and the Imitation of Christ, written by Thomas of Kempen in the 15th century. According to Mrs. Lillian Montgomery, Reminiscences of Swami Vivekananda, recorded in 1955, she said, as Vivekananda was speaking, the purity of that personality was so great It just seemed to me divinity was reflected in him. It was as if his mind was a limpid lake that was reflecting divine light. Swami Vivekananda's, the sense of I, had expanded into something that was vast and deep and very, very pure and very, very powerful, because it just penetrated within and it aroused something within that never was there before. I think perhaps his great power was that he perceived the divinity in all forms, and he perceived to such a degree that he awakened in his listeners as he was speaking. Talking about Swami Vivekananda's teachings, I am truly convinced that Swamiji's mind was so pure and subtle that it expanded naturally like vapor. And that is why it could see and understand all the mysteries of the universe, revealed to him with the help of concentration. Swami Vivekananda said, "Religions of the world have become lifeless mockeries. What the world wants is character. The world is in need of those whose life is one burning love, selfless. That love will make every word tell like a thunderbolt. And also, it is love and love alone that I preach, and I base my teachings on the great Vedantic truth of the sameness and omnipresence of the soul of the universe." It is also well known that Swami Vivekananda was a great mystic poet. One of the best poems I know is the Song of the Sannyasi. Vivekananda composed this poem in July 1895, when he was delivering a series of lectures to a group of selected disciples at Thousand Island Park, New York. In the poem, he defined the ideals of sannyasa, or monastic life. It goes like this: wake up the note, the song that had its birth far off, where worldly taint could never reach, in mountain caves and glades of forest deep, whose calm no sigh for lust or wealth or fame could ever dare to break, where rolled the stream of knowledge, truth, and bliss that follows both. Sing high that note, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Strike off thy fetters, bonds that bind thee down, of shining gold or darker, baser ore. Love, hate, good, bad, and all the dual throng. No, slave, slave, caressed or whipped, not free. For feathers, though of gold, are not less strong to bind. Then off with them, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Let darkness go, the will of the wisp that leads with blinking light to pile more gloom on gloom. This thirst for life, forever quench. It drags from birth to death and death to birth the soul. He conquers all who conquer self. Know this and never yield, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Whose souls must reap, they say, and cause must bring the sure effect. Good, good, bad, bad. And none escape the law. But whoso wears a form must wear the chain. Too true, but far beyond both name and form is Atman, ever free. No dower that, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. They know not truth who dream such vacant dreams as father, mother, children, wife, and friend. The sackless self, whose father he, whose child, whose friend, whose foe is he who is but one? The self is all in all, none else exists. And thou art that, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. There is but one, the free, the knower self, without a name, without a form or stain. In him is Maya, dreaming all this dream, the witness. He appears as nature, soul. Know thou art that, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Where seekest thou that freedom, friend? This world nor that can give. In books and temples, vain thy search. Thine only is the hand that holds the rope that drags thee on. Then cease lament, let go thy hold, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Say, peace to all. From me no danger be to aught that lives. In those that dwell on high, in those that lowly creep, I am the self in all. All life, both here and there, do I renounce. All heavens and earths and hells, all hopes and fears. Thus cut thy bonds, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Heed then no more how body lives or goes. Its task is done. Let karma float it down. Let one put garlands on, another kick this frame. Say not, no praise or blame can be where praiser praised and blamer blamed are one. Thus be thou calm, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Truth never comes where lust and fame and greed of gain reside. No man who thinks of woman as his wife can ever perfect be, nor he who owns the least of things, nor he who anger chains can ever pass through Maya's gates. So give this up, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Have thou no home? What home can hold thee, friend? The sky thy roof, the grass thy bed, and food what chance may bring, well cooked or ill, judge not. No food or drink can taint that noble self which knows itself. Like rolling river, free thou ever be, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Few only know the truth. The rest will hate and laugh at thee, great one. But pay no heed. Go thou, the free, from place to place, and help them out of darkness, Maya's veil. Without the fear of pain or search for pleasure, go beyond them both, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. Thus, day by day, till karma's power spent, release the soul forever. No more is birth, nor I, nor thou, nor God, nor man. The I has all become the all, is I and bliss. Know thou art that, sannyasi in bold. Say, Om Tat Sat, Om. To end this short talk, I would like to address you all, especially the younger generation, that if you young devotees like music and poetry, you are all welcome to become listeners of Internet Radio Ramakrishna that is streaming continuously devotional songs, Vedic chantings, Upanishads, and spiritual teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sharada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, since its foundation on 26th July 2017. We are about to celebrate 5 years of non-stop service. You can download our mobile player on Google Play Store for free and enjoy the bliss of keeping your minds with divine thoughts all day long or whenever you feel like, with just a click. Don't forget, Radio Ramakrishna on Google Play Store. Thank you very much for your patience, and I hope to see you very soon in Thanjavur by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishna. Om Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.